I can only relate to binge eating disorder, but there are multiple eating disorders out there, and not everyone, is affected the same way. But this is my journey. This is what has happened to me. This does not mean that what I'm doing or what has happened to me is right for anyone else or whatever. This is just me explaining what I've gone through and, shedding light on people that may be going through the same thing and that they're not alone. It's like, whoa.
How did I even feel that way about
How did I get to there? How did I get from there to here? That's what I want to know. But I journaled hard, and it's crazy because I stopped journaling. It's crazy. I haven't really journaled for a while. So a lot of times when I post on Instagram an old photo of mine, or a photo when I was heavier, I always put what weight I was. And people always ask how do you really know what weight you are in these photos? Well, bitch, I used to weigh myself every day, and I wrote it down every day. I journaled every single day my weight. So what I do is when I find a picture ooh, this is a good one, or oh my God, I can't believe I looked like this, I go back to my journals and then I find the weight. So I'll see 147, 149, and just for the record, I'm only 5 feet tall. So this is, this is unhealthy. This is an unhealthy weight. But 157, and then a week later, 151. So it's I clearly was starving myself most likely that week. I talk about it in this. So it's it's so crazy to me to go back and read. So that's how I read my journals, was I was looking at my weights based off the photos and the date on the photos. So it was such an eye-opener. So this is from 2020. And in 2020, my binge eating was probably the worst that it's ever been in my life because of obviously what happened in 2020. We all felt some sort of
effect. Yeah,
we all were affected by the pandemic. We were closed. Our business was closed for 3 months. I didn't know if I was going to have an office. I didn't know if we were going to be able to sustain it and stay open. My husband was working in the hospital. I was worried every day about him being there. And it was crazy. So I used to crash diet, and it's just so crazy. I used to think that I could binge and then purge and work out for 3 hours, and it would fix my binge, but it didn't. So people always ask what would I binge on? Oh, well, we all overeat sometimes, whatever. No, I would wait until everyone was asleep in the house. I would go into my pantry alone, lights off, try not to wake anybody up, and I would consume anywhere from 3,000 to 6,000 calories within an hour, because I only had a little bit of time before my husband realized I wasn't in bed. Then what I would do is I would go outside and I would throw them in the trash on the side of the house, all the wrappers, so that nobody would see it. And the next morning I would journal about it. And no one would know but me and this book. And yeah, so that's what I believe it. I had such a great week. And then pretzels, popcorn, and fucking ice cream and crackers ruined it. So embarrassed of myself. This is me writing to me. Just dumping. And it's when you read this back 2 years later and the person I am now, it's crazy. So that's what did I say my weight was? 143.6. I'm 119 pounds today. And I probably eat more than I did back then. That's the crazy part. I eat more than I did back then, and I can look at pretzels or something and not feel like I have to eat the whole bag. So it's crazy how I allowed my emotions to control everything in my life, as far as my weight, my body. It's just so sad, man. It's so sad to read back. And it's that's the whole point of why I decided to start sharing all my stuff, is because like I can't be the only person that's dealing with this. You know what I mean? No way. Yeah, there's no way. And during this time I was alone, and I think about like how much I wish I had somebody that I could relate it to, how much I wish like I had somebody that was open about it and would discuss, you know, what they're going through, and I didn't. And I think that's why I failed for 2020, 2021, and then now in 2022, I'm only journaling about happy things in my life. I don't journal about food. Whereas every single page of my journal is about food, is about weight, is about my body, is about, that's all it's about. It's crazy. It's almost like it gets boring because it's so redundant, because it's like, shut the fuck up. Like, we get it. You binged last night again. You know? It's just so crazy to me. And I used to always fail on the weekends. It's crazy. Alcohol, I talk about blacking out from alcohol. And it's like, and I'm now 6 months no alcohol. I have not had a sip of alcohol since January 9th. And that was just a personal decision of mine. And it's like, I look back on this and like how I would black out and like wouldn't even remember what I ate to be able to journal it. And it's like, I allowed that. I allowed that to happen in my life. And now to look back, it's like, I would never, it's like, it's almost like you're mad at yourself. Like this is a person I'm mourning. Like this is a different person that I don't even know who they are. It's like I found these books and it's like, who left these here? It's the fucking craziest thing. And this is me. This is my handwriting. This is me documenting my weight every day. 148, 144, 143, back to 149. Like, that's not healthy. That is not healthy. So it's definitely been something that I've overcome. I have not relapsed from my binging in over a year now. I Googled actually, why can I lose weight but I can't keep it off? And it was weird because this book popped up and it was called Brain Over Binge by, I think it's Catherine Howard. And I read it. I actually listened to it on an audio book in my car. And I remember pulling over after listening to the first chapter and I was like, holy shit, I have a legit eating disorder. Like, I binge, and this girl was talking about how she consumes thousands of calories when she's stressed out or anything that's going on in her life. And I was always stressed out because I was opening a new business and I was always stressed out. I was always worried about money. I was trying to, have side hustles to, compensate for me not being able to take a check yet from my business and things like that. So I was always stressed. And I would consume all these calories at night, and then the next day I would take laxatives. Or the next day I would go to the gym for 3 hours, thinking those things are normal. Like, oh, I'm just fixing the problem. But it's like, no, this is an actual psychological disorder.
Deeper issue.
Much deeper than I thought. So when I listened to that audiobook, I was like, oh, wow, I have a problem. And immediately I called a therapist. Immediately. And I explained, I was like in full panic mode. And I explained to her what was going on with me. I met with her and I went from there. And I relapsed a few times while I was with her, but I was very open and honest. And that's how my journey of therapy started, because I had never really been to therapy. So therapy is definitely something that I recommend for people. Reading Brain Over Binge is something that I recommend for people. Now, I can only relate to binge eating disorder, but there are multiple eating disorders out there, and not everyone, is affected the same way. But this is my journey. This is what has happened to me. This does not mean that what I'm doing or what has happened to me is right for anyone else or whatever. This is just me explaining what I've gone through and, shedding light on people that may be going through the same thing and that they're not alone and that there are options out there for help. Because it's a consistent battle. If you are constantly like, I love my body now. I'll get naked, right? I'll do this video naked for you. I don't even care. And I could never imagine going somewhere without a sweater. So it's like, it was a constant battle with my body. And it's like, I know people are going through that, especially women. And it's like, but what's wrong? There's something wrong. Could it be that you have a legit medical disorder? Could it be that, you are suffering from PCOS? It may not be an eating disorder, but there's an underlying issue because your body is miraculous. My body has done miraculous things in the last 6 months. 6 months, I've gone from 150 pounds to 119 pounds healthy. I don't have loose skin. I have abs. I look healthy. I look fit. I don't look, famished. I don't look anorexic. I don't look like skin and bones. I look fit. And I've seen what the body can do. So if you're struggling with that and going up and down with your weight and you're constantly unhappy, you constantly don't like something, something's wrong. There's something you're not doing right. And that's where you can seek out help. You can, I always say, people are always like, oh, I have the wrong trainer. No, don't blame your trainer. Your trainer is giving you these tools. You have to use them. A lot of times it's like I tell people, don't hire a trainer. Hire a therapist. Try therapy. Find out what is going on inside that's causing you to, take out your aggression on food. And that 5 seconds of satisfaction that then leads to 5 days of guilt or being mad at yourself. So my advice is always find out what is going on inside of here, because there's usually something going on. It doesn't matter how put together you seem. You may seem like you got it together, sis. You may seem like everything's okay, but deep down, it's usually something that's triggering those responses. So that's a little bit about me, a little bit of why I am starting this vlog, starting this journey, bringing you with me on this journey. I hope that you have enjoyed this video so far. All right, so I'm gonna go get my cardio done. I'll be on my Stairmaster for 45 minutes and I'll see you guys at my next video. So crazy how many people are going through this. And it's like, I wish I would have opened up about it sooner and been able to help people sooner.